people waiting till the last minute to merge onto traffic.
All right, so this one will do like another PSA,
Yeah.
like we did with our also popular slow traffic keep right PSA, we'll call it.
Sure.
This is waiting your turn. So let's say you're, I'll bring up your example, Ulysses. It was a very good one.
So here in Phoenix, we have a freeway, the 51.
State Route 51.
State, no, it's not a. Is it State Route?
Yeah, that's why it's called the SR 51. But
Okay, State Route 51.
Okay.
It merges with the 202 Red Mountain Freeway, and it goes down to one lane, and it usually starts getting crowded around 3 o'clock, rush hour.
Beginning of rush hour, about
Right.
a mile before the exit.
More than a mile, it's like 2 or 3 miles.
Sometimes 2 or 3 miles before
Right.
the exit.
And
Traffic will start to back up because it's one lane
Right.
to get off of the 51 onto the 202.
Correct. And a ton of people will blow past the line, and then will try to squeeze in into
right.
it.
Right at the last minute.
Right.
Everybody knows why the line's so long, why
right.
that lane of traffic isn't moving,
Exactly.
why people aren't just getting out and going into traffic that is moving. It's because everybody's waiting their turn to get off the freeway.
To get off
To
of
get
the
off of the 51 to merge onto the 202.
Right.
So they're trying to get off the freeway onto another. They're trying to make a maneuver, and they're waiting their turn to get on.
Well, at the same time, because they're looking for that slow driver so that they can cut in, now they start slowing up that lane where they're at as they're trying to.
So that brings up a good point too.
Backs up even more traffic.
So I always felt, in a way that I kind of try to drive most of the time, is where my driving doesn't affect other drivers. So if I'm going to make a turn, I'm going to try to make it in such a way that hopefully people won't have to stop behind me. Or if I'm going to merge into traffic, if I'm going to change lanes, somebody's not going to have to brake so I can get in. You know, like, I try to make my driving as less impactful on other drivers as much as I can, to a reasonable degree, let's say. But when you're trying to cut a big line and you're holding up a second line of traffic because, oh, here comes the exit, I only have 200 feet to get off, nobody's letting me in because everybody saw me just cut the line.
Well, and what really turns that knife is, what really grinds my is when they fucking cut you off, you know, a mile ahead of you.
Yeah.
And then they start driving really slow. You're like, weren't you in a hurry? Isn't that why you cut the whole fucking line off? And now you got like 5 car length in front of you until the next car.
Letting people in. It's like, oh, you, oh.
Wait till I catch up.
Right.
Keep you dirty ass.
Yeah.
Wait till I yell instructional advice out the window as I drive by.
But yeah, that's the top, you know, the cherries where they cut in, and then, you know, because they got in, you know, I got in.
Oh, I got what I wanted. I'm in.
I'm at the front,
Yeah,
now I'm
I got
going
what I
to
wanted.
cruise onto the 202.
Nice leisurely turn.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, just wait your turn. I don't get it. You honestly think you're better than every person you just passed? You know some secret they don't? Oh, look at these idiots waiting in line. I'm just going to cut right at the end. It's like, oh my
Chumps.
God. There are certain people that just feel like, I feel I can't live in civilized society.
Yeah.
These are the people. You drive slow in the fast lane. You don't wait your turn in traffic. You should be
Would
pulled
you
out of
say
your car.
you think they feel entitled?
It would have to be entitlement. You don't cut line unless you're entitled.
Bring it full circle.
Yeah, those drivers are the spoiled kids that never got spanked. I'm just kidding.
You think so?
They developed that self-entitlement, you know, because they got put on a pedestal.
Where do you say that self-entitlement comes in? You think that's our generation? Do you think your generation's an entitled generation? You think it's our kids? Is that the
being a
generation?
millennial, I think it's
I think you might be a little old to be a millennial. You're probably more like a Gen Xer or something like that.
No, I'm millennial.
No, I'm pretty sure you're too
81.
old for that. Oh.
That's where
Is that the cutoff? Is that
no, 80.
Oh,
So
okay.
80. So I'm at the the butt end of it? Is that where
Yeah.
it goes, or
Okay.
the very front of it?
So no, you'd be the very front. So millennials start in
at 1980 up to
Yeah.
2020 or 2000.
Yeah,
So
that's
those are millennials.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying it's not that generation that's the entitled generation.
No.
It's their kids. Is
Yeah.
where the
I
entitled.
mean, I'm going to be 40 years old.
Mhm.
You know, I have kids,
Yes.
and you're going to tell me that there are no 20-year-olds in between me and my kids. You know, it's those. We have 20-year-olds, teens, 30-year-olds right now. Those are the ones that are.
Okay. But
I feel like
so that would be like our parents raised a bunch. It'd be that generation
No, it would-
before us, not our kids. It'd be
Yeah, kind of.
It'd be the ones right before
Well,
us.
it could be
Really
our
the kids
generation that got
born around
pregnant really
the
early.
2000s.
All the kids,
Probably
so-
the worst.
Because, I mean, honestly, next time pay attention to who cut you off or who's getting in the front. It's the younger crowd. It's not, it's not a 50-year-old or a
Well,
60-year-old.
usually, honestly, when I feel like it gets done, is it's somebody like my age.
a
That's
40-year-old.
yeah. Honestly, that's how I
Uh-huh.
feel it a lot. Like a lot of the people that I feel drive kind of iffy.
Yeah.
Not to be sexist, because I think women aren't. There's nothing inherently wrong with the way they drive. They're not worse drivers.
It's
than
not
us.
people like us.
But a lot of the things like slow in the fast lane
Yeah.
and what I would consider more like absent-minded driving, where they're not considering how it affects the people around them, changing lanes without looking properly, or things like that. But when it's somebody doing like a jerk move, like trying to cut in at the end or something like that,
Mhm.
it really seems like men around my age, middle-aged men, younger men.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I would grant you that.
Younger, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like younger guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that for sure.
Well,
I think guys are more aggressive driving.
Mhm.
To me, women, they're more like distracted driving.
Yeah, I mean, and even to that, because it's like my wife, she's been in like one accident, and it was her fault. But, I mean, that's like one accident.
Mhm.
Like, literally, that's it. I would never, when I say absent-minded or like distracted driving, I don't mean they're like, or playing on their phone. I mean, it's just, I think they get more like wrapped up in it, and it's more like about
You
what
see
they're
that
doing.
clip of
than
the
everybody
cop
around
pulled
them.
over his chick. He was like next to her and looking.
right,
She's
into
like-
her. Yeah.
And she pulls over and she starts fucking flipping out on him.
What was she doing? Because I think the monitor cut your hand gesture off.
No.
Playing with her phone.
Yeah,
That's
playing
what
with
he's doing. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Not-
I can't see what he's doing.
Not flicking her bean, but.
It's both distracted driving. Both distracted driving.
They're both distracted driving.
I mean, I won't say that I've never driven out.
Didn't
but
Arizona pass a no phone while driving law? Like,
Yeah, there's actually a bunch of them, and I don't
we're
like
supposed to be wearing a Bluetooth. Like we can't even answer the phone.
hands-free device.
Hands-free device.
Hands-free, unless you're doing maps. G-Maps is okay. The navigation portion,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
allowed
They
to
can
hold your
actually
phone.
look. Like if you were in an accident and they think it was
Oh yeah.
caused by your
Don't
phone,
ever let
they
the
can
cop
look.
touch your phone. You know how a lot of people have their insurance on their phone and stuff? If you give the cop your phone, he could just, I'm sure there's 911 setting, and he could be like, break down what this phone was doing. And it'll say 915, text, 916,
Well,
text,
they can
open
subpoena
phone,
that
look the
information.
text. They could. I bet they could just do it right
they
there.
can, but you can't give up your passcode.
Yeah.
Like if you have a 4-digit passcode, you can't, because that's against your the
No, like
Fourth
if
Amendment
it's
or
if
something?
it's
Fourth
a
Amendment,
warrant,
no, your constitutional right
Oh.
of self-incriminating.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing that they tell you is if you're getting pulled over and you don't want the authorities to get a hold of your phone, is to turn it off.
Yeah.
Especially with an iPhone, is if you turn it off, the power, not just turn off the screen, but completely turn
I know
off
what
your
you mean,
phone.
yeah.
To unlock it, you have to put in a code instead of you can't use your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and they can't force you to put in your code. Again, that goes against
no,
your.
I think they can only do it if they have a warrant.
Even with the warrant, that was the whole debate with the terrorist attacks that had
Well, no, 'cause they didn't-
Apple
They
iPhones.
they were
They
dead,
couldn't.
and the government wanted to get into the phone and Apple was
You
like,
can't
no.
self-incriminate your. That's part
No,
of your
no,
constitutional
but
No,
rights.
no,
We're
you
dead.
have a
Right.
right to not incriminate yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you can give up that right.
No. What you say is, I forgot my code. Now,
Yeah.
what are they going to do? Torture you?
Well, I mean,
no.
they can hold you in contempt. But
Well, whatever. I mean, it's not the
Yeah.
same though. It
Yeah.
just saves you from whatever you're.
Just like
or you can
can't-
just say lawyer. I've done this plenty of times.
like if you have a recording device in your car,
Mhm.
and if you delete that video, you can be charged for.
Well, yeah, but again, if you have face
Yeah.
unlocking system, they could just grab your
Well,
phone
that's the thing.
and do that.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
don't-
legal.
I don't have that. I have fingerprint and a code on
Mhm.
mine.
Well, you can still grab your finger.
It's true.
They said the best thing is the code because you can't give it
Yeah,
up and
yeah,
they
you don't
can't
have
force
to.
you to give it.
Yeah, and I could be wrong, but it was my understanding they could only do it with a warrant.
Well, even if you do have a warrant, you're not going to give up your code.
Yeah.
You're going to say, I forgot.
Well, you may or may
play
not,
stupid.
depending on, like
All of a sudden
if
you have
wanna get,
dementia.
because they
All of a
can't
sudden, I
charge
don't
you
want to
with
agree
like
on this. I plead the
like
fifth.
obstruction. Because there is
Yeah.
certain things like that. Yeah, you could be charged with obstruction.
You
like-
could, I mean, but which one's the lesser crime?
Well, it depends on what
Well,
you're
exactly.
doing.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Distracted driving probably isn't much.
But yeah, the
but
Apple
this
one was like the FBI was trying to force Apple to get into the phone, and
Yeah.
Apple's like, no.
They
those
wanted to
people
create
were
a
dead.
back channel entry, and Apple kept saying no.
Yeah.
No.
But you bring up a really good point with this distracted driving law, with this
I
no
only
texting law.
Brought it up because a couple of days ago I was driving down 44th Street.
Okay.
Brand new 2021 BMW 7 Series. Light turns green, and he's just sitting there for a couple seconds, and I honked, and then he just took off really fast. Got to the next red light. He stopped maybe 2 car lengths before the actual stop, and
That's what you always tell.
I went around him because I was going to deal with that, and I looked over, and he's on his phone.
Yeah.
He's in a business suit and everything. I'm sure he was sending out a business email or whatever. Again, but that was part of the, I thought,
Well,
distracted driving.
here's-
It is. Well, like texting and driving causes more deaths now than DUIs.
Here's the
Texting
thing
and
about
driving is the most dangerous thing.
your texting and driving.
What
laws.
about drunk texting and driving?
Yeah.
They already have.
That balances each other out. Then you're just like,
No, they already have a bunch of laws about distracted driving.
you can
Yeah.
do both.
You're already not
They're not
allowed
being enforced
to
though.
play on your phone. You're
Right.
already
well,
not
they're a lot
allowed to text.
harder to enforce.
You're already not allowed to do all those things. These
But I
are
mean,
just
that was super
unnecessary
obvious.
laws
Yeah.
that are just so you can what? So you could. They're feel good, do nothing laws. They already have these laws. Were already
Look,
in place.
Well, most
Well-
laws are feel good, do nothing laws.
My other thing was, so after I got around him, and we were at the stoplight, turned green, I took off and looked in my rearview mirror. And he's there, not moving, and nobody's honking at him. For
He's got a pretty nice car. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure he's busy. I'm sure he's just sitting there
Yeah,
walking down.
he's probably making those bells, making that bell. So
I just thought that was.
They did do a study that BMW owners are the most asshole drivers.
it's funny. My brother used to drive one.
Yeah, he's an
So,
asshole.
oh, for sure. But he was talking about how hard they are to maintain because they
Yeah.
take
Oh, yeah,
a lot of work
Mhm.
to maintain.
Yeah.
He said if you maintain it well, it runs great.
Yeah.
But you let it slip, it all of a
The
sudden.
maintenance schedule is like every 6 months you have to take it in.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So he said what a lot of them do is they'll only drive it and they'll lease it for 2 years, and then that's when all the problems start to show up, and then they'll go trade it in.
Yeah.
I just thought that was
And
funny.
then Freddie goes in and buys it.
He bought an old one.
Oh, he used to.
Yeah,
And
it
then
was
they
probably-
get all the problems.
Does
with
Yeah,
he
it.
still
exactly.
have the...
The electric i3 BMW. Yeah, those are nice because it's a hybrid.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
still
all
have shit.
electric. It runs electric first
Yeah,
until it
that's how
gets a
more
certain
hybrids,
range.
30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
No. It uses the battery first,
Okay.
and I mean, you get on the freeway, whatever, it goes quick. But this one, it's not, because you're thinking of Toyota Prius.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
one, the battery only kicks in if you're going under 20 miles an hour, and then if you go anything
yeah.
faster, then the gas engine kicks in, to compensate. But the BMW doesn't do that. It goes all battery first,
Yeah.
and then once you get to a certain range of your battery, then your gas engine kicks in.
When they were building like that is like
The
before
thing is,
the infrastructure
he hasn't
was
pumped.
a lot better.
He hasn't put any gas in it since because you got the car. So, but I'm thinking you're.
Well, that might be a little
Yeah.
hyperbole.
No,
He's probably a little bit.
where he lives.
Yeah, because it's an electric car. It just has a gas
gas
backup.
backup.
'Cause they were building that
Right.
way in case
But,
you're
I
doing
mean-
like trips where
Because gas evaporates, right? So shouldn't. I mean,
when it goes bad.
It's a
I
does
don't
it,
know.
would it go bad?
It does go bad, but it doesn't last long. A few months, maybe. You have to actually add stuff
I
to
think
gas to
it's
keep it
in
warm.
the tank. Yeah.
Because I was thinking about
But
it. because
tanks
he-
are airtight. The
Yeah.
whole system is under a vacuum.
right.
So.
Oh, because they
So I
should
think
be
it-
fine then. Yeah.
Well, but
'Cause
again, I think
he hasn't gassed up. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He's because his apartment complex
It has a
bunch of charging
Oh, I'm
stations.
sure he lives in a nice spot.
Yeah, so it's constantly it's always charged.
Yeah.
Always. And it's quick. That's what I like
Well,
about
they say those motors are like high torque motors or
Well,
something.
like Tony, my neighbor,
So you
had
get a lot
that
of
fucking Volkswagen.
acceleration on it.
But they nerfed that thing.
No, oh, yeah, for some reason his is quick.
No, I know, like
he
the-
pulls up to
The
you
Volt,
know,
like literally, they
the
they
Volt
nerfed
from
it.
Chevy.
Yeah, they
'Cause it's
nerfed
Chevy.
it to make it feel like regular acceleration.
No,
Because
Yeah.
that's,
So they
it's
have-
actually way better, but we nerfed it so it.
Yeah,
no.
that's exactly
No,
what they
lying.
did.
They don't
They were
fucking-
like, we don't want people fucking.
we don't want people driving quick, so.
because they have the Volt,
Mhm.
which is a hybrid, and they
Okay.
have the Bolt, which is fully electric. No hybrid.
Which one's the Leaf?
Leaf
The
is
Leaf is
Nissan,
Nissan, yeah.
and that
That
one's
one's
fully
like-
electric.
Yeah, but that one's almost like a golf cart. I mean, that's not even like a real car. Like the Volt is a real car. The Leaf is like borderline.
It still doesn't. It's not. It doesn't have great range on the
No,
battery.
they designed it to be like a strictly just around the city
I
car.
just find it funny to call it, Volt, and then I see them gassing up at Costco.
Yeah.
But going back to your PSA,
PSA, is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to add? Fucking wait your turn. Slow traffic, keep right.
Yeah.
Don't cut the line. You ain't better than nobody else. I mean, let's be real. This is where you got a problem with it. Comment. I'll respond back.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
you
fucking-
open up those channels?
Yeah, right? You want to play this game? I'll fucking trace your IP address. I'll show up at your goddamn house.
Easy there, Hitler. All right.
Anything else? You ever?